The German descent of the British royal family is frequently commented upon. But in fact, most royal families of modern Europe are of German descent. For example, the Oldenburger-Holstein-Gottorp dynasty, of which King Charles III of the United Kingdom is technically a member, also included kings of Denmark, Sweden, Russia, Greece, and Norway. Similarly, the Saxe-Coburg-Gotha dynasty, to which his mother Queen Elizabeth II technically belonged, also included kings of Belgium, Portugal, and Bulgaria. And there were other German royal dynasties, such as Charles X Wittelsbach in Sweden, Augustus of Saxony in Poland, George of Hanover in Britain, William of Orange-Nassau in the Netherlands and Luxembourg, and Carol of Hohenzollern in Romania. Other German monarchs were unsuccessful in establishing dynasties, including Albert of Mecklenburg in Sweden, William of Orange-Nassau in Britain, Frederick of Hesse-Kassel in Sweden, Ivan of Brunswick-Lüneburg in Russia, and Otto of Bavaria in Greece. The reason for all these German monarchs is the fact that throughout most of its history Germany was a disunited country made up of countless minor principalities, each with their own royal family. Since royal families insisted on marrying each other rather than their fellow countrymen, most royal marriage partners were taken from these German states. Over time, this led to German princes inheriting kingdoms when the royal family ran out of heirs and they were next in line. The first German king elected to a foreign throne was Christian of Oldenburg, who became King of Denmark and Norway in 1448. His male-line descendants continued to rule there until the abdication of Queen Margrethe II in 2024. Next came the Habsburgs. In 1516, Charles succeeds his maternal grandparents as King of Spain, having also succeeded his paternal grandmother in the Low Countries, which includes Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. During his reign, conquistadors expanded his empire to include Central and South America and the Philippines. In 1580, Charles's son Philip II succeeds via his mother in Portugal, and by extension Brazil, until it regains independence by war in 1640. In 1700, the impotent King Carlos II dies and is succeeded by his French cousin Philip V of Bourbon. In 1526, Charles's brother Ferdinand of Austria succeeds his brother-in-law in Bohemia, modern-day Czechia, and Hungary, after the latter's death in battle against Turkey. In 1718, the Kingdom of Serbia was formed following its conquest from Ottoman Turkey, but was lost to them and disbanded in 1739. In 1780, Ferdinand's descendant Empress Maria Theresa is succeeded by her son Joseph of Habsburg-Lorraine, technically ending the Habsburg dynasty, but the name is retained. In 1863, Archduke Maximilian is appointed Emperor of Mexico, but is assassinated just 4 years later. After World War II, the Habsburg Empire is split into Austria, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, and Yugoslavia, today Slovenia, Croatia, and Bosnia. Sweden was also ruled by several German dynasties. The first in 1654 when Charles X, Count of Palatine-Zweibrücken, Wittelsbach, succeeds in Sweden and Finland, after his cousin Queen Christina of Vasa abdicates. In 1720, Frederick of Hesse-Kassel succeeds his Wittelsbach wife as King of Sweden until he dies without children in 1751. He is succeeded by Adolf Frederick of Holstein-Gottorp, and his descendants rule until deposed in 1818 and replaced by a French dynasty named Bernadotte, who continue to reign in Sweden today. Like Sweden, the United Kingdom was ruled by a series of Germans. The first was William of Orange-Nassau, who was invited to invade in 1689 in what became known as the Glorious Revolution. He reigned until he died without children in 1702. In 1714, George of Hanover succeeds his Stuart Scottish cousin Queen Anne, and all subsequent British monarchs are from German dynasties. In 1901, King Edward VIII of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha succeeds his mother Queen Victoria of Hanover, and this dynasty technically continued to reign in Britain until the death of Queen Elizabeth II in 2022, although was renamed Windsor during World War I. In 2022, King Charles III succeeded his mother. His father Prince Philip of Greece was a branch of the Oldenburg dynasty. The Commonwealth realms today also include Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Jamaica, and Papua New Guinea, and formerly included India, and many countries in Africa. Poland meanwhile was an elective monarchy. In 1697, Elector Augustus of Saxony converts to Catholicism so that he can be elected king, despite his ancestors' protection of Martin Luther. Augustus's son and namesake rules until 1763, and the final partition of Poland would occur in 1795, wiping it off the map until after World War I. And of course, Germany's royal family was German. In 1701, Prussia is established as a kingdom under Frederick I Hohenzollern. In 1870, following the defeat of France, William I is crowned Emperor of all Germany at Versailles. Upon his defeat in World War I, his grandson Kaiser Wilhelm II is forced to abdicate in 1918 and Germany was forced to give up her colonies in Africa and Oceania. The last early modern European country to be ruled by Germans is Russia, but it had an auspicious start. In 1740, the infant Ivan IV of Brunswick, the same dynasty as Hanover, rules for a few months before being overthrown by Empress Elizabeth and dies in captivity. In 1762, Elizabeth is succeeded by her nephew Paul of Holstein-Gottorp, and he is in turn deposed in a coup led by his wife Catherine II of Anhalt-Zerbst. Upon Catherine's death in 1796, Russian rule reverts to the Holstein-Gottorp dynasty, who nevertheless keep the name Romanov. In 1917, the Russian Revolution overthrows Tsar Nicholas II, and he and his entire family are assassinated the following year, definitively ending the dynasty. With the subsequent collapse of the Russian Empire, Poland, Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Ukraine, and Belarus all gain independence. To conclude, for those early modern kings who had it, this German connection had real impact since it meant that they all had votes in the imperial diet of the Holy Roman Empire through their German titles. On the eve of the French Revolution, the only kingdoms in Europe ruled by non-German dynasties are ruled by branches of the royal dynasty of France in the Catholic South, namely Portugal, Spain, and Italy. Portugal and Brazil are under the Braganza dynasty, an illegitimate branch of the Capet dynasty, and will remain in power until 1853. Spain has been ruled by the Bourbon dynasty since succeeding the Habsburgs in 1700. Naples and Sicily were also ruled by the Bourbons from 1734 until conquered by Savoy, Italy in 1861. Despite the upheavals of the French Revolution, it did not topple the system of monarchies in Europe, or the proliferation of German dynasties, as we'll see in the next video.